You're listening to the Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Alberto Del Rio, man, he must be laying the pipe hard. He's a champion.
Isn't he, though?
Dude, I always thought he had it all together. This doesn't surprise me.
Well,
I figured he dominated.
Wait a minute. Tell everybody what happened.
Are we even we're not really on the air, are we?
Yeah, we're on the air. We started.
You know what? I like that. Well, Paige of WWE fame proposed to Alberto Del Rio in front of a crowd of 30 people at an indie show. For real proposed, and then showed she got a new tattoo on her neck that says Alberto on it. And he accepted. And apparently he's still married. I love this story.
Wait a minute. I didn't hear that part. So a couple weeks ago, she got a tattoo underneath her boob that said Alberto. And now she's got one on her neck that says Alberto?
This one is definitely on her neck.
Oh, wow.
Dude, that's commitment right there. That is commitment.
I'm not surprised. Again, I'm not surprised by this. Alberto Del Rio is the man. You look at him. He's got it all. He talks the part. He looks the part. I love this guy. I love it. I'm very proud of him. I also was very disappointed to see that he got edited out of the WWE 2K17 commercial, the one they've been playing where he's sitting at the bar. He's out of that commercial now. Now they play a double scene of Sheamus.
And don't they also they took Paige out of the intro too, right?
That was new tonight too. Paige was removed from the actual Raw intro. How about that? How about that, Kill It Cow?
Wow, not surprising.
Yeah, you know what I was gonna say. I mean, you fell enough drug tests, I guess that there's WWE out a little bit.
I really hope these guys make it because they're a great story. But if they don't, the good news is Paige will have her own porn in a year, and she'll wind up like China.
Don't say that.
She seems very unstable. She'll
end up
very crazy. You know what? I'm kind of glad about this because can I tell you guys something? When I watched Tough Enough as a judge, she was such a bitch. She was so mean to the contestants and thought she was so much better than everybody. And she just shit on The Miz. Like every chance she could get, she would shit on The Miz. So I love that what comes around goes around. Good luck, Paige. Keep entertaining in front of 30 people.
What are you saying, Vic?
I was saying, who did Tensai liken her career arc to in the porn industry?
To China.
Oh, nice. That's that's a good similarity there.
I guess China better than Sunny, honestly.
What I love about Paige, guys,
I was thinking Sunny. I was thinking more Sunny, just because at least, I mean, China is no longer with us, so in the art of being tasteful for a change, I would have said Sunny, who is probably one OD away from not being with us.
Listen, guys,
Paige has not started down that arch yet.
She's really just one more DUI away from 5 years in the butt slam prison.
1 year. Guys, she's 29 days away from being our guest host on the Undisputed Wrestling Show. Let's just call a spade, guys.
Or actually, you know what? Let's call it what it is. She's probably 49 days away from being on the Snake Pit with Jordan J. Garber.
Oh, boy. It's probably true. Paige is coming to Angry Marks Network very soon. Guarantee you that. So, anyway, let's cut the bullshit. Tonight's about a superstar. Tonight's about a legend. Tonight's about a guy that shows us what real entertainment's about. I'm tired.
I'm sorry I fell asleep last night and couldn't make the show, but this week I'm here. So you're welcome for showing up. I appreciate that. Or I appreciate your love for me and how much you miss me.
Dude, you just slowed my roll. Are you intoxicated? I'm not telling you. I'm telling you.
I am not. I wish I could say I was.
I'm telling you right now. I've had enough of the spot monkeys like TJ Perkins and Adrian Neville and all these guys. You're watching real entertainment tonight. You're watching Goldberg. people, all the little guys on the internet were like, oh, no one's going to know who he is. The crowd. Dude, that was entertainment. That was emotional. That was awesome. Goldberg, who I don't really remember being very good on the mic, boy, did he deliver tonight. That was so badass. The crowd ate it up. That was an intense comeback. Goldberg was fired up. You could tell he missed the fans. He missed the whole thing. And then he just got caught up in the moment. And he really thinks he could beat Brock Lesnar's ass. And now I really think he could beat Brock Lesnar's ass. That was awesome. What'd you think, Big Vic?
You know what? I really liked this segment. I was a little concerned. He wasn't that strong at watching ESPN segment. And even after I replayed it a couple times, he didn't look nearly as badass. He didn't seem, sort of seemed like he was before, not very comfortable in the mic. But tonight, I mean, he was literally like tearing up and really happy to be out there. And I mean, and he made it clear that this is his farewell tour. He's going to have his match against Brock Lesnar. And you know what I like about this? I like the WWE owning this, whereas fortunately or unfortunately, I got to experience his second to last match, soon to be second to last match in WWE at WrestleMania 20. And basically, you there?
I was letting you talk, man. I know you're about to shit on him.
Oh, sorry, no, I'm getting a bad echo. What I was saying is WrestleMania 20. He was out of there. Brock was out of there. Everybody knew it, and it was ugly. It was.
But it's all water under the bridge.
Not a pretty sight.
It's a new day.
It was the crowd came and destroyed him. So I think that owning this is a good way. Owning hey, this is farewell match. That's the best way to do it. People dig retirement matches. This is actually it's a good story. I mean, if you think about it, like Goldberg's entrances, he never really shaking hands with kids or picking up kids or whatever. And tonight he did that. And I thought that was pretty cool. Awesome. And I think there's good reasons for being back, and he's going to slide in there as a strong face for this match, which WWE doesn't really have.
I agree with you 100%. I thought, first off, his intensity. He was dropping foul language. He said Brock Lesnar doesn't have balls. He had his fat bitch or whatever he called him do his promo for him, and he's going to kick ass. But what was awesome was in all that emotion, he gave a promo so genuine about being a superhero. It is the promo we've listened to John Cena tell for 10 years that comes off super fake, and no one believes him, and he's not genuine. And he took a crowd of all marks tonight and talked about how he believes he's a superhero and how he loves the kids and he wants to be a superhero, that this world is in disarray and there ain't many superheroes left, and he is. Dude, all the 40-year-old men in the audience were going freaking crazy, dude. It was awesome. Like, he literally is the first guy I've seen since maybe like The Rock in the last decade that could connect with every single age group. Like, everybody. Like, that promo, he captured every single fan except for the fat ass that wants to see flippy TJ Perkins. Okay, you can go watch TJ Perkins with 8 people in the crowd. I'm gonna go watch Goldberg with a sold out house, and him and Brock Lesnar are gonna do it the right way this time. I am pumped up. Survivor Series is the event to get. Goldberg, Lesnar, it is going to be awesome.
Did they announce when this match is going to take place?
It's clearly going to be Survivor Series. They didn't say it, but it's got to be. When else would it be?
I don't know. They might be starting the WrestleMania hype a little bit earlier. I would think
WrestleMania?
If they're going to have Killer Kev, I'm interested to get your opinion on this, Killer Kev. If they're going to have Lesnar Goldberg rematch, when does it happen? At WrestleMania, or does it happen at Survivor Series?
Well, from what I'm reading, most people think it's going to happen at Survivor Series.
Okay, all right. Well, you know what? If I'm thinking this match is so big, it's like Cena Rock when they made the match tonight after WrestleMania or next year's WrestleMania. I'm thinking it's going to be in advance for WrestleMania. Because
I mean,
you have to
it could
remember,
be.
they've slow played this. I mean, this has been going on, or they've been in negotiations since January with Goldberg, as you
They're
said.
trying to sell the video
Probably
game
even
now, so
before.
that's why I think it's Survivor Series.
Well, you know what? It happened in Survivor Series. Awesome. That's great. I want to see it sooner rather than later.
The video
What
game's
would be
very
cool
good,
is if
by
they
the way,
did
guys.
a
Very,
rematch
very good.
at Survivor Series, and then who won the first one? Lesnar won the first one.
No, Goldberg.
Oh yeah, well Lesnar won the second one, and then they had the rudder match
Oh,
at WrestleMania. That would be.
who are you talking
pretty
about?
badass,
Goldberg
in my
had one
opinion.
match with Lesnar. Goldberg won it.
What's that?
Were you talking about Goldberg
What'd you
Lesnar
say?
or Lesnar and someone else?
No, I said Goldberg Lesnar. Who won the original match?
Goldberg won
Goldberg,
that,
right?
and they never fought again.
He won.
Yep, Goldberg won. Decisively.
Yeah, so Lesnar wins the Survivor Series, and then they have a final match at WrestleMania. Basically the rudder match of the series. And that's what I'm thinking if they
I'm
do
not
the
against
Survivor
that.
Series. But, yeah. But, I mean, who knows? Either way, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm going to do my best to stay off I don't want to read a lot of dirt sheets. I don't want to
No.
hear what the internet is saying about this. I want to enjoy this as the 12-year-old fan without internet smarts, where
Kind of like
You know,
how
you
I was the only
used to
guy
be
who
a
didn't
little
know Triple
pamphlet
H was
neck.
coming out of Royal Rumble, and I went friggin' crazy, and I loved it, and everyone else hated it. Kind of like that.
Yeah, exactly. I like to
You're kind of cutting out, Vic, but I do remember on Royal Rumble, I'm knowing my League of Nations characters, and I'm like, oh, number 30 is Wade Barrett. What crap. And then all of a sudden Triple H comes out. And then Roman Reigns gets eliminated. And I'm like, wow, I was genuinely surprised, and that was absolutely freaking awesome. But Goldberg tears down the house tonight, guys. You know, I don't tell you to go back and watch things very often, folks, but do yourself a favor. Get on YouTube tomorrow, or if you have Hulu, go see Goldberg. He is ready, and he is gonna rock it with Mr. Brock Lesnar. A couple other things tonight that happened.
I couldn't believe the response that the crowd gave. That was like, I mean, he killed it with the promo, but even before he said a word, I mean, the crowd was going insane.
It was awesome, man. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to see what happens next. But
Yeah.
super cool. You know who else has really won me over in a big way? Who I absolutely love? No, I'll tell you who it is. So I have been thoroughly disappointed by the cruiserweights. I think they're awful. I think the whole division's terrible and they need to scrap it. However, there's been one bright spot. The Brian Kendrick is awesome. I love him. In the little shitty 20 seconds they let him do promos, he annihilates it. That dude, who has always been great, but he's at another level now. And it goes to show you the experience of guys that have been around for a while, like Goldberg coming back tonight. But Kendrick, he is awesome. His body language, the way he tells a story in the ring, and this whole thing about this is his last chance and his last life. I mean, man, I really like the Brian Kendrick. I don't know. What do you think of him?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I think he's really carrying the division. That guy, T.J. Perkins, I mean, he's just some freaking...
Terrible.
It's pretty lame, and I sort of hate his promos where he's going on about, like, game over, and you don't get extra lives, and shit. Like, that, you know what? That's just tacky. I mean, I get what you're going for there. His intro's tacky. His whole story with, when I was 12 years old, he used to take me down to Tijuana to wrestle with me. That's actually sort of creepy. I think you could probably get arrested for that. If you brought a kid down to Tijuana with you to wrestle.
He's a shitty, watered-down version of Evan Bourne with a cool submission hold. I mean, dude, I just can't wait till they give up on this division. And not that I like this guy, because everybody knows I hate him, but I can't wait till Braun Strowman comes down and takes care of all these guys at the same time. And it's going to be awesome when he finally does it. And it'll be the one time I cheer
There's
for
like
Braun
6 guys
Strowman.
in it. It's not like it's a massive, it's not like there's like 16 guys and there's a whole bunch of new people to learn. It's the same couple guys, and
It's 6 guys.
I mean, you have watered down comments when they're coming down to the ring. They basically gave literally okay, here's this guy. Like I think each of the 6 of them got in.
I can tell you who they are. You want to know who they are?
Kendrick?
They have no personality. You have the knockoff Damian Sandow that sucks. That's not David Sandow. You have the 2000s version of like Nikolai Volkov. He's terrible. You got the Flash Funk ripoff character that kind of looks like Xavier Woods. Then you got the other guy who kind of looks like Flash Funk Xavier Woods, but he does not dance like the other guy who dances. And then you got the video game guy, and that's your division. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. Yeah, I understand they put together a very entertaining tournament, but that's a series of matches where the tournament is the gimmick, and the fact that somebody wins the tournament sells.
I don't know. I think I voiced my displeasure with the whole tournament. Not so much the matches or whatever. I think that came across cool, and that was a cool idea. But just the way it was presented. It was not presented well on Raw, and that's how you get people over to like WWE Network. They did a new segment on it. I think they should have had the matches. They should have had the matches, or some of the matches at least, for the Cruiserweight Classic on Raw.
I agree. You know what though, man? I know they're going to try and stick with the division, and it is really disappointing that they're going to have Brian Kendrick lose at Hell in a Cell. And it really pisses me off.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see somebody like an Evan Bourne or a Adrian Neville sort of have a crossover between the cruiserweights, and I mean,
it needs star power. I would like to see Neville there myself.
I think what's his name, Adrian Neville. He's probably a cruiserweight as far as his weight. I think that he could have a match with. I think
you know what though? They
they
use those guys for the Intercontinental Division, Kalisto and Neville, and they got to just say, you know what, we're going to cut our losses on these guys and actually put good people in the Cruiserweight division, because you know what the difference between the WCW Cruiserweight division is and this one? You had Jericho, a bunch of luchadors with really cool characters like La Parka, Psychosis, all these different types of characters, and then you had guys from Japan like Kaz Hayashi and all these different guys, Ultimo Dragon. It was awesome. And instead we got these little vanilla guys. They're horrible. They're all like the same character and they suck. Even the guy with the mask, Lince Dorado, has like a normal name and he has no character. It's terrible. Kevin, am I missing something? You're the big indie guy. I mean, it's been awful. It's been a failed experiment, at least on Raw.
Honestly, I can't say because I've not watched, so I don't care.
What have you read on the internet, though?
Honestly, I haven't. I've been too busy taking care of other things. WWE, nothing personal. I know I produce the Raw Reaction. I know I produce the SmackDown Self-Destruction, but I don't have time and I don't care about WWE wrestling right now.
You do realize you're not helping our show for the network. Thanks, Kev.
Hey, I am here to make sure that you monkeys get on the air every week, and be honest, I ain't been very good at that job either.
I was going to say, your cat's been usurping you after last
Can I ask you a question? The SmackDown show is called the SmackDown Self-Destruction.
Yes.
Are they prognosticating that they're going to fail?
well, because Mike Pullen's involved, it's a slight play on Impact Implosion.
I love it.
It's not a strong play on the immediate future of SmackDown.
Can you just, when you talk to Mike Pullen, can you just please, and let him know how serious I am, tell him how much I love what the Hardys are doing, and I think it's incredible. I want him to know that he told me a little bit about it, and then I started watching. It's the best thing in wrestling right now, by the way.
It really is. And you know what? Just as an aside, I think the reason that it's working so well is because nobody has any fucking expectations of TNA Impact Wrestling anymore.
So cool. It's so cool.
They can literally do whatever I mean, you remember when nobody had any expectations for Raw, right?
Yep.
And what did we get out of that? We got the Attitude Era, which some would argue was some of the best wrestling programming ever. Why?
Ever.
Because Vince McMahon didn't have a fucking thing to lose. He was already all in as he could possibly get, because he had no other choice. TNA is the same way.
Well, TNA is even worse. Apparently, Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins fame got like a restraining order against Dixie Carter or something.
Yeah, and we don't know what that's about because a judge sealed it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that just doesn't sound good to begin with, and I don't think that that's an actual angle, believe it or not.
No, it's not an actual angle unless Hulk Hogan shows up in New York City for a press conference.
You know what? I don't know if you guys heard this tonight, and I really absolutely hate it. I watched the match, and I listen. I'm not saying she's like unattractive or anything like that, but if you're on WWE TV, it's your responsibility to keep yourself in top shape and take care of yourself. And literally, I watched Dana Brooke come out, and she literally gets bigger every time she comes out, and all she does is flex, and she looks like shit. I cannot believe they let her cleanly squash Bayley tonight. That was terrible, and I don't get it. I don't understand what that angle is.
I mean,
she sucks. She should never win that match.
That was surprising. That's killed any momentum that Bayley had.
The crowd was like,
get use the ropes or grab the tights or have a fan run in or do
I like
something.
that Corey Graves kind of went off script and he was like, well guys, let's not fake it. I mean, this was an upset. I was so glad he said that.
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome.
That's the thing though. I mean, and again, I'll tell you what I do. The one thing I do like, I don't like much about SmackDown right now. I love that middle announcer, the guy with the glasses with like, I think he's like Spanish name or Italian name maybe.
Mauro Ranallo.
What's that?
Mauro Ranallo.
The guy who sits in the middle? Yeah, whoever that is. I love him.
He's awesome.
Some work to do, but he's like, he reminds me of Jim Ross.
He's very good. He's the one that all the marks love, and he's super good. And what he does is he actually like describes the moves and the background, and he's fantastic. But I really didn't like Corey Graves for a long time, but he's really grown on me, and I think he's gotten very, very good. I don't think he's great, but I think he's good. And I've always thought Michael Cole was pretty good. I know I'll get killed for that, but I think with Graves they're pretty good. I still think CM Punk was the best announcer WWE's ever had behind Jim Ross. CM Punk was amazing when he was injured. He was awesome. I'd love to hear CM Punk be the normal commentator, but I guess that probably won't happen, but he was awesome. Speaking of shocking, how about Big Cass squashing Carl Anderson? I mean, not saying, and I've been very critical of the Bullet Club saying Anderson and Gallows have not delivered, but you paid all this money for these guys, they go right to the main roster, and you just squash your investment like that? Surprising. I mean, Anderson basically got, there wasn't I don't want to say Bayley got completely squashed, because she didn't. I mean, she got some moves in and stuff, and she was competitive, but she did get beat decisively. Carl Anderson legitimately got squashed, very similar to the jobbers that fought Strowman, and I'm not making a joke. Would you disagree?
Yeah. My thought, hear me out on this. When did they come into WWE? Like June or July?
Right after WrestleMania.
First they were like part of the club with AJ Styles, have his back, and that was like when the crowd was really, really into him because they thought that there were going to be more Bullet Club members, and Finn Balor was going to come up, and it was going to be like the next NWO. Then they never put the titles on him. They had him lose every match they had on pay-per-view, they lost pretty much every match that I can recall. They have not won. I mean, outside of maybe like a Raw 6-man tag where AJ Styles picked a pin over Kofi Kingston or something. But they lost every match with that, every significant match with that. Then they go on to their brief forte of pretending to be doctors, pretending to be retirement specialists, pretending to even. I think the start of it was the beat John Cena up thing, which people liked because number one, they were beating up John Cena. Number two, they were beating up John Cena. and number 3, AJ Styles was with him on it.
But that's AJ sold that. AJ's been amazing.
And, yeah, you're right. And then when they split them up after the pay-per-view, they give them the stupid angle where they're doctors, they're hole punchers,
they're lost without AJ. Lost.
And those didn't work, or those segments weren't well received. And
that match though, with Anderson and Cass,
and now they're over as the team that, they're tired of joking around, they're tired of whatever. And, I mean, this has been literally the last 3 months for them. They've got to just be like, I forgot they were running on Raw until they came out and Enzo and Cass came out for this match. Like,
that match was less than 3 minutes. It was less than 3 minutes.
There's people I was thinking about, like, hey, Jericho doesn't have a match at pay-per-view yet, or Sami Zayn doesn't have a match at the pay-per-view yet. Like, hey, maybe I'll have a match. Like, I haven't thought about these guys at all having a match at pay-per-view. So, I don't know. I mean, I almost forgot they're on the Raw roster.
It was an absolute squash. I mean, let me read you. And anyone who's read Ian Clark's Raw recaps, they're very, very good and very descriptive. I'm going to read you the entire recap of the match. I've never done that because they're always so damn long, which is awesome, which is why his write-ups are the best. Here it is. Cass opens up with a punch. Punch in the corner. Punches in the adjacent corner. Fall-away slam. Anderson falls to the floor. Cass tosses Enzo into Gallows. Climbs back in the ring. Anderson with a boot. Roll up for 2. Cass hits East River Crossing for 3. That was the whole match. Now, yeah, Kevin, you're a big New Japan fan. Hearing about the investment in these guys, how does that make you? How do you feel about that? That Anderson was treated that way on Raw. Everyone sees it.
You know, honestly, I can't say for sure because I've not watched Raw. I don't know.
Just hearing
based on that recap
hearing
I just gave.
I can't base it on the recap because I would have had to watch the match. I would have seen what was going on, what was the dynamic, what was the crowd reacting to, what the storyline has been like.
I think the crowd was shocked. I think the crowd saw these guys get beaten less than 3 minutes. I was like, I don't understand what you're gaining. Cass and Enzo are so over. It's not even funny.
All right, well, I mean, if we're going on that basis that Cass and Enzo are so over, then what does it hurt that Cass went over?
You just cheapened Anderson to the point where there's no value. He has no value right now. He has zero value.
He has no value because he got beaten by one of the most over wrestlers.
In less than 3 minutes.
In fact, it was like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. Yes.
He got no moves in. He got one kick in the whole match.
They're on a fast track to ascension.
Okay, let's back it off for a second. What if this wasn't a match? What if they just went out there and instead were just doing a promo back and forth, and Cass did this in 3 minutes?
I'm okay with that. I just don't like that they invest all this money in these guys and just
lead up to them like that.
I don't
all
get
right,
it.
then what's the difference between them doing a promo and it going like that and them doing it in a match?
Because it's a pure loss.
You buried them in the match. Have them get disqualified for a low blow or something,
right,
and then have them clean house, and then they have momentum, and then there's anticipation. This absolutely crushed them. They're probably going to be the first. I'm going to say the first match on the pay-per-view coming up.
They really are at Ascension level.
Enzo and Cass get a ring in.
They really are at Ascension level. You nailed that.
They would be opening up the Raw or the pay-per-view pre-show.
Okay, but are they getting paid at Ascension levels?
No, they're getting paid a lot.
So then they are making some damn good money to put Enzo and Cass over.
But I'm saying I don't think they should be
from it though. That's
I'm
the thing.
actually showing your guys
they can come back and they can lose that match and then come back next month and challenge for the WWE Championship. Like they're going to be on Superstars after this pay-per-view.
Assuming they be treated this way. I don't think you bring them up. I think you just don't use them before you do this. Like, save them for an angle that in the future. Like, there's so many guys you have on the roster. Don't use them this way. I mean, I don't get it. I hate it.
Okay, ask yourself this. How many times has Big Show been put in an angle like this?
What's that?
I don't know. I wouldn't say he's been absolutely jobbed. Even his matches with Brock Lesnar, he was competitive.
All the fucking time. They do this to Big Show all the goddamn time. And he still makes big money, and he still had a respectable career.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to disagree with you that maybe this is not the way that you use talent like this. I'm just only saying, in the end, does it really matter in WWE? In WWE, I don't think it really matters as much as it would in, say, TNA or New Japan if a talent lost in that manner. Because in WWE, shit changes so fucking fast. They change their minds, 30 minutes before broadcast.
True.
So I can't get outraged over it.
I'll be interested to see where Gallows and Anderson are after. I mean, they're starting. Correct me if I'm wrong in this, Tensai, but they were in the ring at this time for this match. No.
Yeah. We got to move on. Screw that.
All right, enough of that.
Reigns and Rusev will never end. They're continuing the feud. This time it's about family. Not much more to say there. They're going hell in the cell. I think Reigns is going to finish this feud.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that segment really. I mean, you know what? It was good to get the crowd hating him and get Roman Reigns some cheers, but I don't know. It didn't really advance the feud at all. It just sort of gave him a little bit more of a segment where
it needs to end.
You know what? Reigns got last one off in a fight, and it's Rusev's turn now, and the pay-per-view's in 2 weeks. I like that they're having this match in Hell in a Cell.
I do too. I think it's going to be a great blow-off. I want to see Rusev win. I just don't see any way again. I think Reigns goes over in a big way. I think they've been good. I actually think their feud's been very, very good. But I just think it's to the point where we've seen enough. I think they've been teared up for a while.
Somebody needs to go over and get a pop in here. And maybe that's, again, until I saw Sami Zayn come out to confront Braun Strowman, which I loved. Until that happened, I thought that Rusev was going to go over and face Braun Strowman. And he still may. I don't know. I mean, they might.
That would be amazing. Rusev confronting Braun Strowman. Let me tell you something.
No. I was saying Reigns over Braun Strowman.
Oh, I don't want to see that. I want to see Rusev. Dude, Braun Strowman. Let me throw this out there.
Down for that. I feel like Rusev is sort of very close to Kevin Owens / Seth Rollins 3 months ago. Very close to converting. Like, if they gave him a little bit of a face push, I think the crowd would eat it up. I think the crowd would.
I think so too. I think him going to confront Braun Strowman would turn him in 1 second. But something interesting is happening with Braun Strowman. I am starting to feel for Braun Strowman because I am getting frustrated as he is getting frustrated. The fact that they put these 3 Jamokes, the Mile High Trio, and basically all these little jobbers like make fun of Strowman, and it just pisses me off every week, and I just want to see Strowman kill these guys. And I want Strowman to get competition. He wants competition. He'll fight anyone. So instead of making him this heel that you hate, I'm actually starting to like him because I'm getting pissed off that they're not like giving him good competition. You know,
like in the way that we've been conditioned. You know what? We want instant gratification. We don't want. I mean, you know what? We sort of leading up to this, we had our feeling of okay, you know what? The jobber. It's good to bring enhancement jobbers in, and then we sort of hate it for a while. But now it's sort of having the desired effect. So we are sheep. And
here's bad booking.
I did love the promo by the Mile High Trio, where they talked about how they thought he was going to get winded because of the altitude there.
They were making fun of Strowman. Dude, I'm going to tell you the same scenario and explain to you why this has been booked poorly. Nia Jax. Nia Jax comes out, she does her squash matches, and whoever she's fighting is like very reverential of her, shows respect, and Nia Jax crushes them and beats the shit out of them after the match. Makes you hate Nia Jax. Braun Strowman comes down to the ring. The jobbers are male in the ring. They make fun of Braun Strowman. Each week, the jobber has made fun of Braun Strowman and said how they're going to beat him. Strowman destroys them, doesn't touch them after the match, asks for more competition. That's face.
Yeah.
Right?
But the problem is Braun Strowman, I mean, he's so... there's no face. there's no way to convert him. There's no easy way to convert him face. Whereas Rusev,
Well, I'm not
like
saying
you
that.
said,
I'm just saying they're not booking him correctly. So you're not really hating him as much as you should.
Yeah, to be honest
Killed
with you,
Sami
I
Zayn
don't mind. I don't mind. That's sort of but it's going more towards a go away heat than and.
Well, I know that. I'm saying they're hurting him by not booking him. He should kill these guys and stretcher them out every week because he's pissed off, and that's heel. Like, even with Sami Zayn tonight, Sami Zayn was so in the wrong. He said, Foley, I'm going to go get competition if you can't give it to me. So Sami Zayn cuts him off, gets in his face, Strowman just pushes him down and walks away. Basically, Zayn's the one that caused the whole interaction. Like, you know what I mean? So, if you're booking us to care about Sami Zayn and hate Braun Strowman, Braun should have destroyed him. And we would have hated him. But instead, we're kind of like, Sammy's a little bitch. He got knocked down and didn't do anything about it.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Because I think Strowman has the potential right now to be one of the most important matches on the card, just because there's that mystery factor and you don't know what he's capable of. You know, they've really done a good job of resetting him from the ass kicking that I saw Undertaker and Kane put on him a couple months ago. And boy, did Undertaker and Kane kick his fucking ass.
You know what? I think that if him and Sami Zayn get a match at Hell in a Cell and put on like a 12-minute match where it actually is not all wrestles, not all bullshit, and he actually shows some wrestling ability, which I think Sami Zayn's one of the few people who could probably carry in a match like that. I think that there's going to be almost a newfound respect for him.
Right. Well, I think what's happening is AJ Styles kind of stands out as a guy who has a natural charisma, even though he's not great on the mic, he's good to like be a great wrestler and really carry the show. And I think Vince is now seeing with Goldberg back and seeing the different. I think we're finally seeing like the split in talent where not everybody's equal. And I think you're seeing a guy like Sami Zayn, and I hate to say it, dropping into his natural spot. So when you're seeing a guy like Owens just be on par with Jericho in the way they're paired together and the way that they both are on the mic, you're seeing these guys like Neville and Zayn, they're actually naturally going to lower mid-card because that's where they're going to actually be, because there's finally a divide in the roster and guys have gotten themselves slotted in their positions. You're seeing that, finally.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I thought, to be honest with you, I thought before tonight started, unless Jericho, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I thought they were going to add a caveat. They might do it next week with Jericho Owens, or with Jericho being added to the pay-per-view with Owens and Rollins in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And they might say, hey, if Jericho wins next week, he's in Hell in a Cell with the other two.
I love the dynamic of Jericho and Owens. I mean, I just don't know where it's going to go. And even tonight, you know, Jericho just couldn't get over the hump and beat Rollins. They had another great match. Kevin Owens was told not to go out there by Jericho, and he went out there. He really did try and help in every way, help Jericho win the match, and just Jericho couldn't pull it off. And you could see Owens was really disappointed, and Jericho was really frustrated. And Owens backstage, he played a kind of a different role than I've seen him play. He was really getting kind of belittled by Jericho, and he just kept saying, I was just trying to help you. I was just trying to help you. And the Kevin Owens we know, and the Kevin Owens from NXT would have just dropped Jericho where he stood. But we're seeing a different dynamic that Owens really appreciates the mentorship, and that's how I'm reading it. You know, so
yeah.
I think Jericho now.
I think out of those three, if you do put Jericho in there, I think that Jericho is the super heel of the three. Owens is sort of the Mark favorite heel, technically heel, and Rollins is the true face in the match if they have a three-way match.
Right.
But my thought process was before tonight started, I was thinking, okay, you know what? They didn't add Jericho. He had a shot to get in. They're going to have some sort of match with like him and Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
And then, okay, you know what? That could be a really good match. I'd rather see Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman. Even if he gets crushed, it'll lead to more stuff. I don't think that.
Right.
I don't like necessarily like matches where it's almost like it's like how the Bayley and what's her name feud got started, where it was sort of okay, they're sort of sidekicks and they don't have a match to pay for you, so they're gonna get we're just going to sort of pair them up randomly because they're friends of faces and friends of heels.
Yeah. Everything needs to dovetail. I agree. But, I don't know. Jericho, just in my opinion, I love how his character is, like, starting to realize, like, he still can be in the picture and the title's actually within reach. Like, it's, like, right there. Like, it's right there. And it's just interesting to watch how Jericho actually senses he's there, like, kind of there.
You know what else I'll give WWE credit for? And again, we don't,
it's been good.
All
like
this,
some things.
But the WWE for the last, probably the last since the beginning of the year, I guess it's been rumored that Fozzie's going on tour and Jericho's not going to be around that long. So I know leading up to every pay-per-view, when you and I talk about it, where it's like, hey, you know what, this is a match where Jericho will put this person over, or he'll put that person over. And it hasn't happened at all. Like, Jericho's won those matches. He's won more pay-per-views this year probably than in the last, like, 3 or 4 years. And you don't expect it because you're thinking, okay, you know what, he's getting out of here next month to tour, or he's doing whatever. So
yeah,
it's almost unexpected where he would be, I hate to say like big show enhancement talent, but I mean, he's legitimate. Like, he's a 6-time champion. And I mean, if he put somebody over, it's not on the level of John Cena losing to Kevin Owens or John Cena losing to,
but they
Finn
built him back
Balor
up.
or somebody like that.
I think they took away that.
It's going to mean that much
period.
more when he does put somebody over, which I wouldn't be surprised if it was Finn Balor when he returns, probably around Royal Rumble time.
You know, I think WWE is starting to realize you don't have to just always put over the younger talent. I mean, even look tonight with Golden Truth and Mark Henry beating the Shining Stars and Titus O'Neil. Like, you know, the fans like these guys. You can't just job them in every friggin' match. So it was nice to see those guys win, see Mark Henry take O'Neil down. You know, one thing I was thinking of you tonight when I watched the female build for Hell in the Cell, which I am really excited about. And it was the first time I can remember, and you know, I think Sasha Banks, male or female, is one of the best workers. I think she's great. But I really did see the difference tonight between Charlotte and Sasha Banks overall. Because, I mean, I do think Sasha Banks is a better worker than Charlotte. But I thought Charlotte's promo and background for the Hell in the Cell match with Lita, I thought Charlotte was incredible. And I really thought it was intense. I really believed in her character. I just thought it was a really nice job in what the Hell in the Cell means to her and what the title means to her and what this feud with Sasha means to her. I thought Sasha came off just like some shitty wrestling, you know, say what
she almost sounded like Bailey in it, where, it's been my childhood dream to do this. And
but she was just like, you could tell she was uncomfortable the way she was snapping her head and stuff. Like, I've seen Sasha do. You see, the problem is Sasha Banks should be a heel. She does not work as a face. It just does not work. It does not work. Yeah. She has to be heel. And unfortunately, Charlotte's the big heel right now. And if they're gonna feud, you know, Charlotte would have to be the face. But I just thought Charlotte on the mic tonight was incredible.
Yeah, that was that was a pretty interesting little interview. I wasn't following 100% of it, but I definitely saw all of Charlotte's and most of Sasha's. And
is Charlotte going to win?
I mean, that really, that's an interesting way of doing it, because I mean,
who's going to win?
Every single lead up to a pay-per-view needs to be an in-ring confrontation.
Who are you picking in that one?
What's that?
Who are you picking in that one?
You know, I'm gonna give Sasha. I can see Sasha because I feel like it was, I don't know if it was injury or I feel like it was a mistake to take the belt off her after like 2 weeks of having it last time, or maybe 3 weeks, whenever Raw till the next pay-per-view. I think that to establish her, I think she needs a little bit longer of or a little bit more of a run with the title, and maybe even slow play it into sort of a chase for Charlotte to get it back at like either some WrestleMania or Royal Rumble, where you can turn Charlotte into more of a face and Sasha into a heel. So I mean, this has the potential to be a long term build For
This is when you know you got a great feud when we're split on stuff like this. Because to me, I think WWE is just so invested into Charlotte now, and I think they're realizing long term she's their bet. And I'm thinking they're gonna go with her, even though they did this to Sasha last time with the short title reign. I think there's gonna be a story there, but I could be wrong. And that's what makes it such an intriguing match. So that will be very cool to watch unfold. The New Day, Cesaro, and Sheamus thing, I don't really get that at all. There is no way Cesaro and Sheamus are taking the belts off New Day, especially when they're fighting each other in the middle of the singles match tonight. Big E goes over Sheamus. I mean, dude, I don't understand the whole thing, to be honest with you.
I don't either, but do you really? Shit, I don't know. I mean, somebody has to beat these guys, and like I was really hoping it was going to be Gallows and Anderson,
Jericho and Owens.
And now they're going to be lucky to even be on the pay-per-view. So
New Day on the wrong night is going to call out Jericho and Owens and lose the belt.
Cesaro are the right guys to do it, but they have the talent to do it.
They're not doing it.
Yeah,
No way.
My only thought is maybe the problem is I've also heard that, and again, I don't follow the dirt sheets all that much, but that WWE might be parting ways with Cesaro pretty soon. So
With who?
WWE could be parting ways with Cesaro soon. I think his contract expires or something.
You heard that?
I read it somewhere.
Are you
That was back
serious?
when he was feuding with Sheamus when they were doing that Best of 7 series. They were talking about that they might just put Sheamus over just because I think Cesaro's contract is ending. I don't know if that's the truth. I don't know if it's still on point to happen or what, but that's why I'm thinking it could just be a blow-off feud for these two or for Cesaro. I think if they are long-term plays, keep them both. I think
They better keep Cesaro, especially now that you got 2 shows. You know, you can really actually finally give him his title reign.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, give him the shit. Give him the have Cesaro have Reigns go over Rusev. Have Cesaro fight Reigns. I'd love to see that because I think Cesaro is one of the few people who can go power for power with Reigns and drag him out in a match for 15-20 minutes.
I agree with you. I think they would be a great pairing. You know, I think with the 2 shows is great, dude. I really do think the ability to get a guy like AJ Styles the opportunity to be the guy. I think you can do that with Cesaro now too. I mean, Kevin Owens, had we not had a brand split, there's no way he'd have the title. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's almost like internet fanboy dream right now to have AJ Styles and have Kevin Owens with the title.
I'm so happy though Dean Ambrose was like the last real champion. He really deserved that. He was working his ass off for like 2 years, you know, and it was like so cool to see him get that run. That really made me happy. I was really happy for Dean Ambrose. He really.
It wasn't. I will say that the run with the title, it wasn't as hyped as I would have liked to see it, or it didn't get the results.
It was cool though.
It was almost more like the chase was better than the payoff.
He's always a great chase. I kind of thought that too. Like, what do you do with him now that he's the champion? But I kind of like the idea of how I thought Stephanie McMahon did the best job of building up Ambrose's. Like, we just got to get the belt off this guy. Like, every promo, she was just like, this shouldn't happen. This should not be. Like, even with Roman Reigns, it was like, we just don't want you to be the champion. It's not that you shouldn't be. Ambrose is like, no, he should not be. Like, I really like that dynamic of how that can't be. Like, it was, there was something there that they didn't really fully explore that I really liked. But, they split up Stephanie and Ambrose, so it stopped when they both went to their own shows. But, hey man, it is what it is. But, you know, more to come there. But, what did I want to talk to you about? You know what was really interesting tonight, dude? That I was really kind of into in a weird way. That Bo Dallas thing really kind of surprised me. So Curtis Axel gets Bo Dallas a match with Neville, and he tells him backstage, I still believe in you. I think you're the man. You know, totally talking up his guy. Bo really pumped up. He got the match. Bo wins clean over Neville. Crowd again shocked. Another weird match tonight, like the Bailey Dana Brooke match. So Bo Dallas wins. Axel loves it. Super pumped up. Keeps like banging into Bo, like how pumped up he is for him. And then Bo just beats the shit out of Axel for no reason. Interesting. I don't know where that's all going.
I like two things about this. And one of them is, you sort of reminded me about this with the Bailey match tonight, Bailey losing. I like when you don't have matches where there's almost a preset outcome. Where if Bailey won, it wouldn't have been a shock. We wouldn't have been talking about it. It would have been a little 5-second blur. Same thing with this Bo Dallas match that he won cleanly. And you know what? Maybe it's building up for a little bit more of a push. But I mean, this could be a minor feud with Axel or Curtis Axel. Which I mean, I think that Curtis Axel's sort of stale with where he is. I don't know if he's been out injured or just contract negotiations or whatever the hell he's been doing. But he hasn't had many matches lately since the draft and Social Outcast were sort of split up. But this will be an interesting feud to see.
I think so too. I think it's different.
Maybe Curtis Axel will get his biggest push since his infamous "I was not eliminated from the Royal Rumble" push. Yeah. Axelmania, maybe.
Well, I don't know, man. I was into a lot of things I saw tonight. I could have done without the Bailey thing. I didn't like that at all. I mean, there's certain people you got to protect on your roster, and I think she's one of them. And I don't get it, and especially to Dana Brooke, who I don't know. I think she's been very disappointing, but that's just me. So that was really the show in a whole. That was everything. Anything else?
I think our biggest question, and be interesting to see, does the Lesnar Goldberg match take place at Survivor Series or WrestleMania? So that's probably the biggest thing, and I guess we had an update on it at next weekend. Brock Lesnar, home state of Minnesota, is going to respond in person.
I don't know, man. I was just into that tonight, man. I thought that was incredible. I was really pumped for Goldberg, man. I mean, I don't think he expected that.
I don't think say about this, and I feel we haven't had a show or I think we had a show a couple weeks ago, and I'm not sure if I mentioned this. I felt like the hype or the build up for this was almost similar to, was it Rocky VI, where Rocky comes back based on like a sort of like a best of all time boxing promotion thing, where it's sort of like a video game, but it was like they literally did it with like Sports Center, and it was it's a very similar build to that. This wasn't the greatest of all time, but this was a video game thing, but it was very similar as far as the build up to that. And I don't know if I know you're a huge Rocky fan, but did you get that at all? That seem to be the situation a little bit with this?
Absolutely, and I think it is very funny how he made that point that the video game made him start to think maybe he could do this. And people were kind of making fun of him and talking shit about him, and Brock calls him out, and he's thinking, you know what? I can do this. And I think you're going to hear a lot of that over-the-hill stuff over the next couple of weeks. And, Goldberg, in a way, is going to be Rocky. It's an interesting parallel. And the scenario of WWE 2K17 is very much like that ESPN simulation. Very interesting comment.
No, I couldn't agree more. The one thing that did sort of worry me and sort of made me think that it's going to be at WrestleMania as opposed to an upset, you couldn't really tell that much because Goldberg had like a jacket on and had like shirt on and didn't really run around too much or do anything super athletic. But he did not seem anywhere near as big as he was in the past. So, I mean,
he didn't. And I actually said to Kevin, I was worried that jacket they picked for him was meant to increase his physical size. You know what I mean? Because he's not.
Even when he picked up his son after the match when he was parading around the ring, and you know what? I know it's whatever. It's picking up like a 8-year-old kid or a 10-year-old kid But I mean, even when he picked up his son, he sort of struggled to get him like up on his shoulder. And again, I mean, that just could be the jacket, or it could be the kid didn't do right, or it was a sort of spur of moment thing, and the kid didn't sell it as well. But it was interesting to see. And then, like, when he got up on the ramp, I was looking, I'm like, he doesn't seem as big, at least upper body wise, as big as he used to be. So that's one of the reasons I'm thinking this match waits till WrestleMania, because then you have 6 months where he can literally get to the gym, build his cardio.
Yeah, the good news is he's got time, even if it's Survivor Series, to really get himself right. Because one thing I noticed, he wasn't really moving around that well. I mean, not that that you could tell too much, but he did seem to kind of have like a little bit of a limp. I don't know if you noticed that.
I wasn't really paying attention to that. I was more listening to what he was saying and figuring he's in jeans or whatever the hell he's wearing and not.
But he works a different way though, Goldberg, man. I mean, go back to WrestleMania 18 where you see Hogan versus Rock. I mean, Hogan, just the way he worked that match was incredible. He did so little, but it looked like so much. And that's when you know you're a great worker and entertainer. I mean, really go back to that match and see how much Hogan really did. He didn't do that much, but he did the storytelling, and I'm really hoping Goldberg can get that out of Lesnar. And I just remember, Goldberg's 49 years old. I don't know how much he could physically take. I mean, I really hope Brock is careful with him. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need somebody who would have a broken neck. Now, hey, listen, he's not Seth Rollins, so we don't have to worry about that, but you know, he better take care of him in the ring. But I think he will. I think Lesnar is gonna really take care of Goldberg.
Yeah,
I think for these guys to even have this match in front.
I mean, I think that this could be a hell of a match. Really interesting to see who wins. Like, I mean, obviously Lesnar wins in a fight or any type of a street fight or whatever. But I mean, it's just a matter of what WWE is trying to do. I mean, I think that
I'm not sure what the demand is for this match.
Goldberg put up a hell of a match and end up losing by passing out from blood, sort of like Orton.
Could be. I don't really know the demand for this type of match. So, like for these two in particular. So I gotta think that these guys are a big reason it happened. Like, I think they both probably wanted to do it. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. That means they probably got something special planned. So, cool, man. I want to see it. I'm excited.
Yeah, and the one cool thing, and I'll say this, and I've said this about some other people that are prominently in the news recently, but the one thing I'll give Goldberg some props, because you know what, he doesn't have to do this, and like he was saying with his thing, with his promo, hey, you know, I don't want to do it for the kids, even if that's full of shit, he still doesn't have to do this. Like, I mean, he's 49 years old, he hasn't wrestled in 12 years. He's doing this whether the internet wants to beat him up or whatever. It ended bad last time with WWE. He's doing this for fans. This is like cool shit to see. He could be sitting on an island. I mean, he made his fuck you money a long time ago with WCW and WWE, and this isn't something he needs to do. I mean, he lives a extraordinarily comfortable life, and he doesn't need to come back and do this. So I think, I mean, using the storyline of, hey, my wife and my son are going to see it, that's fine. But at the end of the day, I think that it's just good for the sport of professional wrestling to see a match like this. And
Me too.
That's why I think that 2 weeks ago or so, I didn't really see, you couldn't really tell who was going to be the face heading into this match. And I mean, that's where I think Heyman did a great job, especially this week, where they got it. So Lesnar is going to be the mega heel, and Goldberg will be the face for the match. So it'll be interesting seeing. And so whether we get it at Survivor Series, at Rumble maybe, or even WrestleMania, I think that it'll be a hell of a match, and hopefully it's a match that the fans absolutely love as opposed to their last match.
And that's what makes Raw great. On the SmackDown self-destruction, which they will self-destruct, You don't have to, these guys can't talk about these guys. They're exclusive to Raw.
Yeah, I know. You're absolutely right. The one thing I'm not sure I really enjoy, or that I'm not looking forward to, or I may be looking forward to. I don't know. It depends how they develop it over the next month or so. But Survivor Series, they're having 3 interpromotional matches. I believe one is a women's division, one is a tag division, and one is a regular superstars single wrestler division. And I was very surprised by this because I thought they were having a 1, and I thought, okay, you know what, that's fine, but I'd rather have it advanced storylines within. I'd rather have Kaz Enzo and the New Day face Gallo Anderson and Sheamus Cesaro and one other heel, Braun Strowman maybe. I'd rather have it keep defining and better defining feuds on each roster than have them immediately have the competition. I get that this whole Raw SmackDown thing was built based off of competition between the two, but I think that, with these shows struggling, I think you need to continue. You don't need bragging rights aren't going to increase your ratings on the show. Whether Raw wins, SmackDown wins, whatever happens, they're not going to increase the ratings on the show. I'd rather see them advance storylines and maybe have a couple of heel turns or face turns, or give somebody like Braun Strowman a push where they're going to be basically, it's more of a pivot point versus a league, like almost an all-star, I guess you'd say.
Well said.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think my thoughts are back to the Paige thing. I think my joke about, not that it's a joke, that Paige is going to be here in 30 days is hysterical, and I think it's going to happen. She's going to be on the airwaves.
I hope so. Didn't somebody else get married in the ring at some point, or have a proposal in the ring?
Rusev and Lana.
Some of you guys. Kev, you might notice. No?
Kev doesn't listen to our show.
Okay. He's probably not listening to our show.
He works against our show.
No, your answer got answered by Vic, or by Tenzai.
It did?
What's that?
You asked who else recently did a proposal in the ring.
Yeah.
It was Lana and Rusev.
No. It wasn't on, was it Hardy's, or it was indie. It was somebody indie who did it. It was like, we had hurt. This was maybe this was at least 6 months ago. It might have been a year ago. I'm not really sure, but it was a similar situation where it's a couple indie guys. It had a bigger crowd than the Paige Del Rio proposal, but not by much. But yeah, I'm trying to remember who the hell it was.
No idea. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head.
Evan Sturgis.
No, he's been married for years.
He's getting remarried.
I'm sure his wife would find that interesting.
She's a lucky woman. Her husband's part of a very, very famous moment in wrestling history. Very famous.
Who's this?
Our friend Devin Sturgis. Mr. Luger. Anyway, that's all we got this week, boys. Anything else anyone's got? Any advertisements? SmackDown rundown?
I will plug myself and say that Killer Kev is actually going to be making an appearance this weekend in the New Jersey area. He's going to try to sell you some new gutters for your house. You should come visit him. You should listen. You should sign up for a free estimate, and we'll give you a free $50 gift card to a restaurant of your choice.
I like that. You should listen to him.
Where in New Jersey are you going to be?
Most likely I'm going to be in Pittman, New Jersey, but they may actually send me to Allentown, Pennsylvania instead. I don't know yet. But I will be somewhere in the vicinity of the tri-state area.
Kevin, you belong.
I might give you my parents' address and let you sign them up and just have somebody show up at their house. They don't need gutters, but it'd be funny to just have them show up at the house.
Well, see, that doesn't do me any good though, because they have to want gutters. That's the only way I get paid. Because if a guy shows up to do an inspection on their house, and they're like, no, I don't do it. Then I don't get paid, and then they start looking over my records to see what addresses I've faked.
Well,
Okay.
I don't need that kind of scrutiny in my life.
It would be real people. It would be my parents. I'd sign them up for it and not tell them. I'll ask if they need gutters, but I think
belong in New Jersey, buddy. I'm glad you're coming. I like to hear you're coming to our stomping grounds, brother. I like that. I like knowing you're going to be in the motherland.
Are you going to buy me dinner Sunday night?
If I was in New Jersey, I would gladly buy you dinner. You're one of, you get that list of like 5 people you want to have dinner with in your life. Killer Kev, I promise you're in my list of 5.
So what are you doing Sunday night that you can't buy me dinner?
I'm in Connecticut, dude. You know what's funny? As much as I make fun of the middle states, it shows how poor your geography is that you think that I'm like right next to New Jersey.
Come on, I'm like 90 minutes away from Newark. In either city, I'm gonna be like 90 minutes away.
No way, man. Where I am, you're probably like 3 hours plus away from me.
Right, but but I'm driving. I'll drive 90 minutes to Newark. I can go visit some friends in Newark. Certainly, you can come 90 minutes the other way too, right?
I love that you want to see me that much. I want to see you too. I can't. I have plans already, but I want to see you. I love that.
God, we sound like lovesick puppies here, don't we?
Killer Kev, let's put our politics aside and our wrestling views aside, because I know we don't always see eye to eye on wrestling talents. However, you are one of the most top shelf people out there, brother.
Well, come on, come to Newark. We'll catch a wrestling show Sunday night.
We'll get killed in Newark, by the way.
Well, then afterwards we'll go to dinner. We'll go to a Trump hotel. We'll record some apartment wrestling.
We'll grab the food.
We will find new demolition.
Well,
man,
you know what? The only thing that would top that is being in Jordan Garber's world.
We can put Jordan Garber in our world. I can put a phone call in there right now. He can be there Sunday night.
I love Jordan Garber.
He can do a live edition of the Snake Pit while we are apartment wrestling against new demolition.
If we were doing a Snake Pit, my man Vic would be on a plane right now. We're in Newark, New Jersey. First off, we'd all be dead, but we would do a Snake Pit.
No, I got people in Newark. We're safe.
Nice.
I legit got people in Newark. We're safe.
I hope it's again.
Believe it or not, my dad's from Newark. Most people don't know that, but he is.
So see, you got cred there too.
I know. Well, I don't. He does. There's a big difference. I have zero cred. Vic can attest to, I am not. I may talk a big game, but I am not the Newark type. I would get my butt kicked.
You did survive a couple of years in East Orange.
There you go.
But you weren't longing to go back to East Orange, I take it.
No, not really. But anyway, guys, this was fun. Good Raw tonight. Goldberg's back, and he absolutely surpassed all expectations tonight. I think the bar was kind of low, and I think he surprised some people tonight. So very fun, very cool. Looking forward to seeing where we go from here.